That game. I mean, for me, leaving Glasgow, hitchhiking all the way over to Portugal, you know, I was some feet, and I was only 19 at the time. All the trouble I had getting over there, but to see the game itself was actually brilliant, especially us winning the match.
Robbie loves to tell friends and strangers the detailed story of his epic pilgrimage to Lisbon in 1967, where Celtic won the European Cup.
Eventually we split up because we weren't getting the list through France and so on, and I went on my own. I actually got lost in Paris. I was for a full day looking for places to stay in Paris. I stood in the doorway of the railway station. I fell asleep for about 3 hours. And then when they opened up the station, that was the next morning. And I then got a train from France right through to Portugal.
Just over an hour later, the pair have landed in Glasgow, and they've no time to lose. On dry land, they must track down Celtic chairman Jack McGinn to try and line him up for the Supporters Club 21st anniversary dinner. But never mind the mission, Robbie had only one priority: to get to Lisbon and back.
Half-time, one of the lads, and whether it be luck or whatever, who knows, one of the lads from that club who'd let me down had come over and he saw me wearing a certain T-shirt and decided, well, that's me, Robbie, and he come down and he told me, come on, I'll get you a lift home, back to Glasgow. And I got a lift back. I suppose, in the final analysis, you know, being there to me was just enough.
At last, Paul gets a word in. He's not too confident of the task ahead.
I don't think he's going to come over.
He'll be there, don't worry.
And so, to paradise, where a new facade has just been completed on the Parkhead headquarters to mark the club's centenary celebrations. This is it, the Dream Factory. But behind the facade, reality is close by. Inside the huge, empty stadium, his career fading, Pierce O'Leary struggles against injury to remain part of the Celtic family. Robbie and Paul have found their man, Jack McGinn. They've seen the Celtic trophy room many times before, but each visit brings new joy. Batches of old photographs discovered during the refurbishment work are awaiting a home in the new building. Near the entrance, what amounts to a shrine is built to John Thompson, the keeper who died while playing football for Celtic in September 1931. Before 80,000 supporters at Ibrox Park, he was fatally injured when he died the defeat of Rangers centre-forward Sam English. Thompson, a devout Protestant, was aged 23. One tribute claimed him a great player who came to the game as a boy and left it still a boy.
Big Dan's coming up shortly, and
Robbie is doing his best to woo the chairman and proudly tells of his Supporters Club's achievements. McGinn was the first editor of the official Celtic magazine, The View, and is preoccupied with projecting the club's profile, particularly so in its centenary year. He shares a Celtic chip about media coverage.
What you're really saying is that RTE don't appreciate good football. They don't.
Well, yeah, one
Because
might
if they
say
did,
that,
they would
one
surely be
might say
showing
that,
Celtic.
yeah.
Well, I think it's up to you guys and all the rest of the people in the Dublin. Make noises about it. Get onto the television, people, and get onto the press and tell. If they don't know about Celtic, they should know about Celtic.
Only the best for Celtic fans, Jack. The club is consistent in that view. The top stars, as well as the young reserves, as a matter of routine, autograph footballs for distribution to charities. It's a homely club where supporters are made feel welcome, a key in the door, cup of tea in the hand approach. Jim Barker is on first-name terms with Hugh Clark in the club shop and knows that requests on behalf of old Duncan back in Letterkenny will be treated with respect.
There you go, that's the new centenary badge.
And I have 2 calendars there, Hugh. Will you get the players to autograph them for me tomorrow?
No problem
Could you arrange
at all.
that?
Yeah, if you bring them in to me, I'll get them done for you
You go out
tomorrow.
and get them, Eddie. Thanks.
Good man.
What's that badge now, Hugh?
£1.
Meanwhile, Margaret Ward and Moira Rua Gallagher passed the Saturday morning visiting old haunts in the Gorbals. In years gone by, thousands of Irish families lived here. An empty space here, a closed-down building there. For all the recent efforts of Glasgow's Labour Council to refurbish the stone monuments from an industrial past, the overwhelming images of decay. Margaret perks up at the sight of her old school, St. Mary's.
We started off at school at Our Lady in St. Margaret's School, and massive big school. And we had great fun there, really enjoyed school, had lovely memories of school days there.
There was nobody rich, but everybody was what you call comfortable. Everybody was working then, and everybody was getting a wage in at the weekend. And the likes of the Gorbals now, I thought they were very rich, you know, I thought they were quite comfortable. They all had beautiful homes and everything there.
One isolated vision of beauty in the Gorbals, not requiring restoration, 40 years on. Packy Bonner is acutely aware of his roots and what he means to his people. It may be match day, but there's a bus from home in town, and he's anxious to meet old neighbours. It's a chance to trade stories.
I haven't seen your mum in a while. How's she doing?
No, she's doing very well. I think I spoke to her on the phone. I haven't seen her myself for a while, you know.
She was supposed to be coming over.
She's hoping to come over in the near future, you know. My sister's over the moment, and you would never know, she may bring her back, you know.
Your daughter's booming, you know. It's doing well.
If Glasgow's a divided city, there's inter-parish rivalry in West Donegal too. Packy is a Ross's man, different from Gladore.
Want to play a strip again, Tommy?
What's one of that?
Get that running flowing.
Phil Coulter?
No, it's a tape recorder at the Ibrox last Sunday. Shelly won 2-1.
Oh,
Yeah, leave it on.
Jim and Tommy are about to part company. They're heading for the station where Tommy will get a train to the Rangers away match. Friends united by differences. The one-upmanship continues. Jim is on the high ground because Celtic won an old, firm match the previous week. Tommy takes his chance as they pass Ibrox Park.
Ibrox?
Best stadium in... It's probably the best stadium in Britain. Like, I mean, we, compared to that place of yours, like, I mean, we're not afraid to spend a few pounds. We spend a few pounds on players, spend a few pounds in the stadium, like...
Well, I have very happy memories of Ibrox. No later than last Sunday, when they beat us 2-1. Man, you were feeling sick.
Oh, I was sick? Well, cast the mind back to a year. Well, you were pretty sick whenever Paggy Munner dropped the two. I think it's Fitzbox and he was trying to catch.
I was very, very sick that day, Tommy. But Paggy
he hasn't got it. He can be good or bad.
Paggy hasn't dropped many since that. I was calling him last Sunday and picking about Paggy.
A low-known Sharky remembers how the streets of Glasgow were a welcome sight during his labouring days. Saturdays meant the few morning drinks and the walk to Parkhead.
Oh, I thought the buildings were huge, you know, compared to the cottages in Donegal at that time. I suppose the people in general on the street, they looked strange, you know, there were a lot of coloured people mixed into them. I never saw coloured people in my life before. I used to go to the barrows occasionally, maybe on a Sunday or that. In fact, at weekends, the place was besieged with bargain hunters. There's a lot of Irish stalls there at that time. And some of them would ask you just if they knew you were Irish, they would ask you where you came from, and they would probably tell you that they themselves or their father or grandfathers came from Ireland before that.
Passing through Glasgow Green, his thoughts drift back 50 years to 1937.
The first Celtic team that I saw was Kenway, Hogan, Morrison, Eatons, Lyons and Patterson, Delaney, Buchan, McGrory, Crum and Murphy.
Jungle Gate slides over here.
Half an hour before kick-off and the crowds file into Celtic Park. Back in 1891, the site was a disused brickfield with a 40-foot quarry in the centre. Voluntary labour helped to turn it into a stadium in a matter of months. On view, the complex nature of Scottish football. 250 police officers patrol when Celtic and Rangers play. The amount is doubled when they meet. Yet violence at Parkhead is a rare occurrence. Jim Barker and thousands like him head for a section of the stadium known as the Jungle. Yet grandfather, father and son can feel at home here, safe among friends. No doubt the miracle of the single rotation is being perfected by many of the Scots family. Nothing is simple. Under the tricolour, the fans pledge their lives to Ireland, but how many of them are fully aware of the historical incidents they sing about? Some will argue till they are green in the face that the flag above them is the original given to the club by Eamon de Valera. A tricolour was hoisted over the grounds in 1892 and one has flown there during every game since. In the complex, often contradictory web where fiction is sometimes more important than fact, the symbolism of the flag is vital.
Well, it means everything. Great sense of pride there, you see it flying there.
I used to be 10 feet tall when I'd gone to Parkhead and I seen that flag. That flag meant something to me, and I suppose to every Celtic supporter as well as me.
Celtic flew the tricolour and the Scottish Football Association ordered them to take it down. There was nothing in the rules to say that Celtic couldn't fly it because they fly every other flag.
Significant section of the Celtic following, the flag is a symbol of nationhood. They're regarded as part of their heritage, and a great source of pride when they go to Parkhead to a match to see it flying over the stand.
Celtic spirit must stem from the Irishness of the club. The fact that the tricolour is flying over the stadium.
When Celtic won the European Cup in Lisbon in 1967, on that occasion there were so many Irish flags in the terraces that some continental commentators were under the impression that it was an Irish team that was involved.
Most of the Celtic fans, were all Irish descent. If you're at a match, no matter what match I go to, who I'm talking to, the grandmother was Irish, the great-grandfather was Irish. They seem very proud of the fact.
I think the tradition of the club always been second best. Probably relates to the Irish-English thing, where Irish have always felt under the thumb of the English, and I think Celtic have always felt second best citizens against Rangers, maybe.
Despite the encouragement from the terraces, Celtic can only draw 0-0 with Dundee United. From the press box, the word is relayed to Scotland and beyond that Celtic's title is still on course, but not yet captured. The manufacturers of green and white shirts must love Glasgow Celtic. In the early days, many of the Celtic supporters' clubs were run under the auspices of the Legion of the Cross, a temperance organisation. The link didn't endear them to some of Celtic's first directors, many of whom were publicans. In the middle of the party, let's take a check on our friend Robbie Hunter and see what he's on about.
I mean, I used to say, well, you're lucky, but I remember being in the chapel of the Mass, and the tears was coming down my face. I was praying. I was laying and everything, the rosary beads out, because it was so interesting to get there. As soon as I got there, I wanted to get home. I'd never been out of Glasgow in my life. I'd gone to Ireland for say with my brothers. I wanted to get there much, but I wanted to go home to my mammy. You know?
Comedian Big Bill Gilfinnan is on his feet. His routine must include the one about the mother-in-law and Rangers, the dog and Rangers, the wife and Rangers, and the #1 target for abuse, Rangers manager Graham Souness. The antagonism towards Rangers goes deeper than straightforward personal abuse. Celtic don't hide their Catholic and Irish roots. The club was founded by a County Sligo-born Maris brother, Andrew Kearns. His aims were to help raise funds for local East End Catholic charities and to create a symbol of pride and a source of identity for the Catholic Irish. But Celtic have never pursued sectarian policies. The less said about Rangers and sectarianism, the better. But in 115 years, the club has not managed to find a Roman Catholic fit to appear in its first team. The relationship between Celtic and Rangers is many things, including a business called the Old Firm, based on bigotry.
Big news was when she said she got all her teeth out. As she's moves, she's still in bed.
Big Bill is let complete his set and then the conversation resumes. Robbie has finally run out of steam and it's Margaret's turn to talk. And surprise, surprise, she was also in
On the Thursday
Lisbon.
morning of the game, we noticed that we were heading for Madrid instead of Lisbon. And we got to Madrid and got to the airport, and there was only 12 seats on a flight that was going to New York and stopping in Lisbon. So we had to throw all our passports in, and it took 12. Luckily enough, mine was one of them. My brother and my friend was with us. And we got the flight to Lisbon about 4:20, and the game started at 5:30. And I got a taxi from the airport straight out to the stadium, suitcases and all, luggage with us into the match.
As you'd expect in a club centenary year, there's no shortage of memories, mostly happy ones. In a different corner, Jim Barker and Paul Murphy have struck up a conversation with some locals. There's a competitive edge to the chat. The Irish contingent are suggesting they're the less fortunate but more dedicated Celtic supporters.
All the more expensive.
Yeah, but you're getting every game.
We're getting every game.
We're getting maybe 6-7 games a season.
That's
it's
right.
costing us £100, £120 to fly. The north is like a time bomb. It can go off for 2 weeks and it can be crazy for 2 weeks and nothing might happen for a month then, yeah.
Full-grown adults locked in debate about their obsession. A new act takes to the stage behind. Michael Jackson, Madonna, even the Pope would find it hard to compete with 500 Celtic historians in full flight. They're going to keep on talking.
watching children of my time resourcing on the hill houses and playhouses, many a house beside.
Ironically, it's a song about immigration.
And when I come back again,
Sunday morning, coming down. After attending Mass in Glasgow, the passengers on McGinley's bus head towards the ferry boat at Stranraer. Most are catching up on lost sleep, but Moira Rua Gallagher and Margaret Ward carry out a post-mortem on their adventure.
It's not the same as it used to be. The crowd's all changed and the people's all away and all the crack. I enjoyed the crack last night, it was good, but I don't think I would like to stay it all the time now.
Just going back for a holiday?
Yeah, it's nice to go for a holiday, but all the places that we used to meet, they're all gone. And
all your old haunting
Oh,
grounds?
yeah, exactly. They're nearly all gone. And even out up at Parkhead, now some of the last game, all the players used to stand outside and we used to get talking to them all when we came out. It's not like that anymore. They just go out and away fast into cars. They hardly talk to you or anything now. Everything has changed. That's all about it. Maybe we have changed too.
3 days later, to the unmistakable ooh of a Dublin crooner, the double birthday celebrations are underway. The guest of honour isn't Jack McGinn, but the Celtic manager, Billy McNeil, a Lisbon Lion. Mission accomplished by Robbie and Paul, a most acceptable substitute, and McNeil knows he's among his people.
It's always been known that we've always had a close association with the supporters. But like every other big family, we tend to excite you at times, we tend to disappoint you at other times. We tend to frustrate you, we tend to aggravate you, we tend to delight you. All mixed up in the whole jumble, and that's what makes the whole thing that bit more exciting. But, you know, as I said to you earlier on, we hope that this year is one of the ones when everything's going to be exciting and we're all going to enjoy ourselves with a tremendous finale to the season.
At the top table, Celtic etiquette is observed. Mrs. Liz McNeil sits alongside the man with the collar. Not the tabloid image of footballers, but a convivial gathering of true friends. To the fans, McNeil is the perfect Celtic representative. Articulate, clean-cut, a good mixer. From 1958 to 75, he played 485 times for Celtic, his only club. He was capped 29 times for Scotland. He was captain on and off the field and given the apt nickname Caesar. The group must impress him. In the best Celtic traditions, they donate funds to a Catholic charity, Baldoyle Orthopaedic Hospital. One big, happy, active family. Well, almost. In the best of Irish traditions, they are party to a split, considering themselves superior to a breakaway Celtic supporters club down the road. Away from his friends, Robbie Hunter struggles to come to terms with life in what for him remains an alien land. At home in Scotland, he spent 5 years as a metal polisher with Rolls-Royce, where his passion for soccer was shared. It's not the same on a Dublin factory floor, where the Glasgow ways aren't fully understood and Celtic fervour can be a lonely burden. But what has Robbie done? Within weeks of moving to his new home, he built a sanctuary at the bottom of the garden, wall-to-wall, green and white, a ghetto blaster tuned to Radio Scotland, a retreat to keep in touch with his soul.
When we came to Ireland, she said, no photographs in the bedrooms, I've had enough. So I said, okay, I'll build a shed. And the shed will never go. I'll live in the shed, I'll die around that shed. That stays, you know, it is a shrine. It's for all my memorabilia, I don't need to clutter the house up.
I never missed a Saturday when we lived over there, over at Parkhead, and away games and that. And when we moved over here, then that was his ambition to have a place where he could sit and listen to all his football matches.
Businessman Paul Murphy says his obsession began in boyhood and a meeting with Sean Fallon, an Irish Celt.
The fact that my father was involved with St. Patrick's Athletic and an ex-Celtic man was then came to be player-manager, John Coleraine. My father was very, very pally with John Coleraine. And that, in fact, helped, because I remember going to see Celtic in the European Cup in Parkhead, taking a few days off school, flying over with John Coleraine to see them play St. Etienne, and then going up to Sean Fallon's house in Glasgow to collect tickets. And Fallon actually gave me the tie that he was wearing, the Celtic tie, and I still have it. It's the European Cup winner's tie. I still have that at home, and one thing I do treasure.
Hello, Robert.
Gary, you're too far in front of you!
Once a week during kickabouts in Dublin's Fairview Park, Robbie is boss, combining the managerial skills of McRory, Steen and McNeil. Not surprisingly, his greatest hero was another little man.
I always looked at Jimmy Johnson, the way he could veer in and out and so quick, put opposition off on the wrong foot. I idolised him because I played number 7. Everybody, no matter where in your life, everybody wants the underdog to win. Whether it be the underdog in footballing or in a job position or the underdog in a Celtic and Rangers position. They always want the underdog to win.
New club member.
At the supporters club meeting, the latest Celtic video has arrived. But before it can be screened, other matters must be addressed. McNeil's men have qualified for the Cup semi-final, and large numbers will travel to Glasgow. They're anxious to make the most of the visit.
I'd have to agree with Derek as to get a tour of Parkhead, because, as I say, when I was over in Glasgow for a Scotland-Ireland match, we actually tried to get into Parkhead, and it just wasn't possible, you know.
If somebody wants to go along to Parkhead and see it on Saturday morning, and if you remember on the Sunday night that we were with Billy, Billy said that he actually showed a crowd round from Andersonstown round Celtic Park on the Sunday morning.
On Saturday morning,
of course it's Billy, our friend Billy, who's at the dinner, not Mr. McNeil or the boss.
I was actually concerned a visit by the Meath Padraig Celtic Supporters Club here in Dublin.
The source of rancour is the behaviour of the other crowd, the breakaway group of supporters down the road. Isn't it inevitable that within an organisation founded on such noble principles, there should be the occasional outbreak of self-righteousness?
Sponsorship for the dinner dance and spot prizes. People asked us, what kind of an outfit is that you're running there? That was an absolute disgrace.
Perfect ambassadors, the kind of a supporters club envisaged by Margaret Thatcher, alive and well and living in Dublin.
And the possibility they'll be expelled.
Now here's another kind of person that you wouldn't expect to find in the jungle at Celtic Park. Dr. Bernard Meehan, Chief Archivist at Trinity College Dublin, a keeper of manuscripts, an Edinburgh man, married to an Irish girl with one young son, and terribly homesick for Saturday afternoons.
I can't remember a time when I wasn't aware of Celtic and affected by the results. Going to the games became such a routine that when I came here in 1976, I really didn't know what to do with myself on a Saturday afternoon.
Away from the vulgar world, surrounded by art treasures, the archivist is distracted by his own sacred memories. The tense Saturday afternoons of boyhood spent fearing news of defeat. And the most glorious occasion, April 15th, 1970 at Hampden Park. Celtic, champions of Scotland, taking on Leeds United from south of the border, whom some believe to be the greatest British team ever. Days later, those memories are more vivid when he stands in Hampden alongside fellow pilgrims Robbie and Paul in Glasgow for the Cup semi-final against Hearts.
I was up there at number 23, up at the back, and 10 minutes to go, I could hear the crowd surging, Celtic, Celtic, and being small, I was up in beer cans, but you didn't really need to see the action, you felt the emotion of it, you know, it welled up inside you, you know, you just couldn't get away from it throughout the whole of the ground, you know.
Yeah, and it wasn't just a Celtic thing, was it? It was a nationalistic kind of thing. It was very much a Scottish thing, because Leeds had been hyped up so much by the English press and media beforehand as the unbeatable team. Everybody had told us that they were the team that was going to win everything that season, and probably for about the first time, Celtic were being supported by the whole of Scotland.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's quite an unusual. It's quite an unusual experience. I mean, very much because they were playing the English champions.
Yeah, the nationalistic ideas coming into it, especially when you see the Rangers then full of Celtic fans and then shouting Celtic, Celtic.
That's right. Well, I mean, there's no way Celtic have 134,000 supporters.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the best game I've ever seen.
You remember the goals?
Strangely enough, the only goal I've got the clearest memory of is the Leeds goal. Probably because that had there was a kind of sinking feeling when I saw that going in. You know that all this hype might be right after all. Because where we were, we could see we had a direct line on all the goals down there. But there was a shot from Bremner, and you could see it snaking in. You saw it taking more than one bend as it went in. It was a completely unstoppable shot.
That made it one each, didn't it?
That's right.
One each.
The talk of bold deeds becomes too much for Robert. A lifetime ambition is about to be achieved. He takes off like his greatest hero, Jimmy Johnson, weaving a pat down the right touchline towards the Celtic end.
ground's about to be out now any minute. He doesn't run as quick playing football.
On the morning of the Hearts match, Bernard Mean rises early and walks alone to his first stop, the little hall at the back of St. Mary's Church, where brother Walfred Kearns founded Glasgow Celtic. Right from the start, they proved their Irishness.
There was a split in the club quite early on between those who favoured the limited liability company, which, again, in a business sense, was a very shrewd and progressive move, and those who yearned for the more pure kind of organisation which dealt entirely with charity. There were various attempts to spawn rival clubs which were devoted to more pure ideals, but these didn't work.
The church, built to last, is still in use. In the Civic Museum, an exhibition of Celtic memorabilia is on display. It's mounted by the City Fathers to mark centenary year, acknowledging the huge contribution the club has made to the... For the archivist and Celtic supporter, this is fascinating stuff. It includes the big one, the European Cup, the actual trophy, won by Celtic on May the 25th, 1967, the first British team to win the trophy. The bringing home of the cup to the East End of Glasgow was as important as the victory itself. It's said that Celtic captains must be born leaders. One of them, the classy defender Danny McGrain, wrote in 1978, "There is an inherent attribute in every player with a true feeling for the club, fighting spirit. By tradition, when the chips are down, Celtic are always at their most dangerous." A man who understands the significance of the European Cup's return to Glasgow's East End is Brian Wilson, a Protestant from Ayrshire and Labour MP, who was drawn to Celtic because of their concern with the working classes.
They're very much the same kind of thing as trade union banners, aren't they?
Yeah, it must have been a real art form in itself around that time. The first of these break clubs was, appropriately enough, St Mary's, and the picture on it was of Tom Maley.
Does that survive?
I don't think so. I don't think so. But the break club spread quite rapidly, and they used to meet at Carlton Place in the centre of Glasgow, and they would then set off for wherever they were going with this procession of breaks with the banners and fully unfurled, and it must have been quite a sight. But the whole thing, as it grew, it also began to become the focal point for rowdyism and the various, the Celtic break clubs would meet the Rangers break clubs and so on. And I think by the time, certainly of the First World War, it had become more of an embarrassment than anything else.
There was a time in the 1890s, wasn't there, when they were at variance with the club. They disagreed with the club about signing policies and things like this.
Some things never change.
Like the man said, some things never change, including the predicament of the youngster left waiting outside the pub while Daddy, Celtic supporter and de facto a club historian, discusses important matters. Generations back, young Irishmen were hired as labourers in Michael Heraty's bar on Glasgow's south side. Now it's an established Celtic stop, suitably close to Hampden, and the semi-final clash with Hearts. The talk is of Parkhead politics, present and past.
Years, there was this awareness among Celtic supporters vaguely that the destinies of the club lay with two old ladies in Ireland. And the extraordinary thing was that this was true, that the two of the founding families, the Grants and the Colgans, had intermarried, and all of these shares ended up with these two old ladies in Tombridge. And really, although they never exercised direct control, that the fact Bob Kelly had such power in the club was partly due to the fact that he had
the support of
these people. So everywhere along the line, the Irish connection is very strong.
I always think, of course, that the question of the tradition of Celtic isn't just a matter of the families that run it or the origins, you know, the charitable origins and the Irish political origins and the Irish connections. It's really a question of the style of play as well, and this is what I think continues to draw people to Celtic. The fact that they always have stuck with a style of bright, fast attacking play.
It's astonishing if you go back within 2 or 3 years of the club being founded that there are references in the press to this style of play, and James Kelly was given a lot of the credit for its emphasis on attack, and it's something which has survived right down.
The attacking centre half.
The attacking centre half, and but always going forward in an exciting kind of play, and it is something which is, I don't think a Celtic team would know how to play defensively or to adopt some depressing formation, but it always has to be the emphasis on excitement and creativity.
Yeah, so James Kelly, of course, was the most prominent player of his day, and it was a great kind of act of faith by the club to get hold of Kelly, to wrest him away from Renton in 1888. It gave them a credibility which they might not have had otherwise, and it allowed them to, it's reckoned that Kelly persuaded half the Hibs team to follow, so that they had a ready-made team straight away.
Down the road, the Lions of Celtic arrived to maul the latest bunch of troublesome Christians, heart of Midlothian. The bloodthirsty fans almost choke on their dentures when Hearts defender Whitten scores a shot goal from 40 yards. Packy Bonner, they protest, had been injured by the Hearts striker McPherson, a former Ranger, of course. Celtic fight back and steal 2 goals. The dream of the double is very much alive. Still pale with tension, 2 Pilgrims have one last score to settle. Near the Hampden Park exit, that's Jerry McNee, Celtic historian and soccer commentator, who had predicted no trophies for Celtic in their centenary year.
The bookmakers didn't fancy them, I didn't fancy them, but I don't supporters fancied them.
I think McNeil made all the difference, Billy McNeil.
He's galvanised it well, he's a good frontman for it all.
Jerry, they feel, has acknowledged the error of his ways. Gracious in victory, the pair and thousands more go to begin the serious analysis in the nearest pub. Glasgow is a city of drama, where some theatre groups survive by dealing with subjects close to its people. It's no surprise that the pursuit of populist issues considered in this particular year should include Glasgow Celtic. The work on stage at the Pavilion Theatre tells the story of an Irish family and their dynastic associations with the Celtic Club. In an appropriate setting, Brian and Bernard meet up with the producers of the play, Dave McLennan and Dave Anderson.
The political affiliations and interests of that group of people. I mean, Glass was very active in the home government branch of the Irish National League and very close.
Through the years, the Celtic movement had strong political links with the Scottish trade union movement, the Labour Party and the Independent Labour Party. The associations go back to its first patron, Michael Davitt, the Irish patriot.
I don't know what the equivalent would be today if you were starting
and Davitt coming along and saying Celtic, and the fans at the time, well, this is 1892.
1892, yeah. They all laughed every time he every time he pronounced the thing as Celtic rather than Celtic. This was in his speech after opening the new ground.
Right. With the turf.
The sod of Donegal turf with shamrocks grown out of it.
It's a great story.
It's a brilliant story where he was talking there about how he hoped that sod of Donegal turf would be slippery to every Saxon foe that.
See, the name Celtic is very interesting, and this is where the whole Davitt role becomes important, because in the years before Celtic were founded, Davitt was stomping Scotland, and particularly the Highlands, talking about the community of interest that existed between Scotland and Ireland, the Land League in Ireland and the land movement in the Highlands of Scotland. And he was stressing this commonality of interest and using this word Celtic over and over again. And that was a way into the Protestant north of Ireland. If you could make common cause between the Catholic Land League in the south of Ireland and the Crofters of Scotland, then you begin to build bridges towards the Protestant north of Ireland. But it feeds into so many other things that Celtic took a very definite decision that there would be none of this sectarian nonsense in the earliest days, and they've remained true to that throughout.
Such highfalutin talk is all very well, but history is all about heroes. After the match, Robbie and Paul are meeting theirs. The little man who doesn't look so vulnerable out of his working clothes, Jimmy Johnson, and former captain, Danny McGrain. And who'd have thought that Bernard, the archivist, the Edinburgh Don, would cherish an ambition to hear the stories of a foxy, gutsy little working-class Protestant, Bertie Auld, who stoked the Celtic engine room in the 60s.
To play for. You know, and that gave us a marvellous kick. Did I ever tell you the story about the Catholic Church and the Orange Lodge and the sports quiz?
Tell us about it.
Well, the Catholic Church and the Orange Lodge had a sports quiz in a big hall, and it was really jam-packed full. You know, all the tickets was sold. And the quiz master says, right, both teams ready, sit down, fingers in the button. First question. Who was the first British club to win the European Cup? Catholic Church in right away. Bzzz. Celtic, 2 points. Second question. Who was the Scottish team that won 9 championships in the trot? Catholic Church in right away. Bzzz. Catholic Church. Celtic, 4 points. So the chairman of the Orange Lodge stood up. He says, excuse me, quizmaster. He says, I think these questions are favouring the opposition. So the quizmaster says, sit down, your time will come. Teams ready? Yes? Fingers in the button. Third question. Who scored the League Cup goal for Rangers? Orange Lodge in right away. What League Cup final? He says, won your mate 7-1.
It took Jim Barker longer than expected to get the autographed calendar and new supporters badge for his friend Duncan Doherty, but get them he did.
We are Celtic supporters, faithful through and through, and over, we will follow.
It's 40 years since Duncan's exile began in Ireland. The recent death of his wife, Marjorie, means that his life is all the more difficult now. He leaves the house most days to walk the town, stopping in shops and houses where there's a chance to talk about Celtic.
That's Duncan. That's Johnny Thompson's death. That's Jimmy McShay and Charlie Gittin. And Charlie English.
Sam English. Your man, he was from Korea.
Sam English.
Sam English. You reckon he never played after that?
Played at Liverpool.
Did he? You should frame that.
Oh, I'll get it framed.
It's well preserved.
The club is his life. It represents his memories. It represents his hopes. It represents the little man's dreams. Drama to the end. In the cup final, Kevin Gallagher scores a goal for Dundee United against Celtic. The villain is related to the legendary Pat Seagal, one of the greatest Celtic players of all. Could such catastrophe be like this in time of year? In a beautiful piece of casting, Conservative Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher stoops to present the trophy. 100 years on, the Celtic dream's in good hands.
We are Celtic supporters, faithful through and through, and over, we will follow you, and over, we will follow you.
criticised for not coming for the ball, but a good block on Mark Haley by the Celtic defender enabled Pat Bonner to come and collect that ball very safely.
McKinley's head up. O'Haley, the scorer of 15 goals for Rangers this season, despite missing a lot of matches through injury. So Moore again with a throw. He can interchange, of course, with Alec Talent, who's playing ahead of him. The right-hand side of the midfield, equally comfortable at full-back. Good tackle by Grant. A chase here for Donnelly. McLaren with a cross also. Here's Billy Thompson, playing in his first All-Firm match at the age of 37, the Rangers goalkeeper. 7 international caps he had in his spell with Dundee United before moving on to Motherwell, and then here last summer as a backup goalkeeper for Andy Gore and Nelly Maxwell. There's O'Neill. Bolly marking Van Hooijdonk. So an interesting front pairing for Celtic. Van Hooijdonk, tall striker who's very good on the ground, links the play up very well. And Simon Donnelly, who also is a player full of touch and skill, without the kind of blistering pace which would certainly finish off the armoury for a striker. Collins with the pass. This is Grant. Now McStay. Into the gap it goes for Donnelly's in the clear. And a fine save there by Billy Thompson. Alan McLaren had slipped, giving Donnelly that chance.
Lovely ball inside the Rangers defence there. You see McLaren slip there. He's slipped there. Simon Donnelly trying to hit across the goalkeeper. Instead hits low, right in the centre of Billy Thompson's midriff. Good chance for Simon Donnelly.
The last time Donnelly scored was on the 14th of May last year against Aberdeen Pittodrie. Hasn't scored for Celtic this season, and did show a lack of conviction there in that shooting position. Well, Simon Donnelly came into the Celtic side last season. He scored 5 goals in 10 matches, but struggled since then. Here's Laudrup, getting involved in the play for the first time, looking for Haley. A fine header there by Haley, and a reminder to young Brian O'Neill of the threat posed by the Rangers striker.
Once again, it's that man Laudrup just jinks the right. He just gets the ball into the box. He doesn't beat anybody, just gets the ball into the box. And you watch Mark Haley's power off the air. Good header just over the bar.
So a fine play again on the flank by Laudrup. McLaren with Donnelly, and Donnelly causing a problem there for McLaren. Here's Ian Ferguson. And McLaren thumps the ball away. Well, McLaren playing in his favourite position, right in the heart of the defence. Played so frequently at right back this season for Rangers, but this time beside Bolly in central defence. So still the settling in process here in the early stages of the match. Rudy Bata has played very well indeed at right back since coming into the frame for the side in recent weeks. This is McStay. An injury there to Ian Ferguson, who's gone down as he tried to tackle McStay. This is McKinley. Played along for Van Hooijdonk, and he clashed there with John Brown. The Celtic supporters howling there for a penalty kick. Fairness, Van Hooijdonk saying nothing about that, but there certainly was a very hefty collision while the ball was in the air with John Brown. And McLaren thumps the ball to safety. The Celtic supporters still incensed. Moore's header there. There's Trevor Stephen. Careless one by Bolly. Breaks kindly here for Donnelly against Bolly. And Craig Moore gets back very swiftly indeed. Very athletic young defender. O'Neill returns it. There's Collins. And Donnelly was too close to him. Well, a controversial moment there. John Brown taking Van Hooijdonk out of the play while the ball's in the air.
This is the ball into the box now. We just see the collision. We don't quite see the actual incident there, but from a central defender's point of view, sometimes you have to block people, and it's up to the referee then to try and catch it if you've done it deliberately. But in that case, our pitchers really couldn't say conclusively if John Brown had fouled him deliberately in the box.
Well, the Celtic supporters behind Billy Thompson were totally convinced that that should have been a penalty kick.
So Craig Moore now with the throw. Haitley's come across. Boyd turns it back, and there's Bonner with some time to clear for Celtic. So there's Grant battling again as usual. This is O'Neill looking for Van Hooydonk. The interception was made well by McLaren. Now McLaughlin on the Celtic right, comes in so easily on that left foot. Van Hooydonk linking, and a careless pass wide. Well, let's have another look at that incident between Brown and Van Hooydonk. See it again with an angle here, Terry.
Yeah, so you can just see the top of your picture there, John Brown just take out Pierre Van Hooydonk. That would be a great tackle in American football, I think, really, just to block him there, just blocking the wide receiver.
Well, that certainly supports the Celtic supporters' view that it might have been a penalty kick. Here's Van Hooydonk. Well, trying to get that volley to dip under the crossbar. He scored 6 times since arriving from SC Breda in January.
Yes, well worth the try from outside there. The ball did set up for him. It didn't quite come down on top of the goal, but at the end of the day, it was well worth the try. Celtic must be pleased with the way they've started. They've had a good chance through Simon Donnelly, a bit of controversy from the penalty area, and a shots on target. So Celtic really have started probably the most, or probably the better.
There's Tosh McKinlay with a headed clearance. Ferguson has recovered from a knock he took, challenging Paul McStay. This is Collins. Donnelly goes inside. Ian Ferguson putting him under pressure, and then Craig Moore comes seething in with that tackle. Well, Ian Ferguson's task is to ensure that Collins and McStay don't flourish in midfield. He's the ball with it in there for Rangers. Tackle by Collins was a foul. Alec Cleland goes down. Part of that double-headed transfer with Gary Boland from Dundee United 3 months ago for £750,000. Good header away there by Vata. Boyd turns it back. And here's Paul McStay coming very deep for Celtic to become involved in the build-up as early as he can. That's long for Donnelly. Good header off for Van Hooydonk. Here's Donnelly again. Holding the play up well. Allowing Rangers, though, to regroup in defence. This is Brian McLaughlin. Donnelly back to McStay, who began it all with a long pass from his own half. Tackle came from Ferguson. So it's a reasonable spell, this, from a Celtic point of view. They have opened up with some conviction. And the offside flag is up on the far side. And Rudy Vata was breaking there.
You can just see at the top of the picture there is offside there, just offside. An excellent decision by Mr. Cathcart, who's the linesman on the far side, who's also my doctor as well. So if there's any medical problems on the pitch, he'll be first on.
Head flick on by Ian Ferguson. That was Boyd. Well, how do you feel Tom Boyd has adjusted to central defence, Terry?
Yes, he's done very well alongside Brian O'Neill. Brian O'Neill especially is hardly thought of in Celtic circles, but Tom Boyd's done marvellously well. I mean, he can play left back, right back, centre half and everything else, so it's a great asset to his manager.
Slice clearance there by Brian O'Neill, giving a throw to Rangers. It's fair to say, I think, the match really hasn't settled down to any kind of pattern.
No, not really settled down to a pattern, but Celtic already have probably the best start. They've had chances, they've got the ball into the penalty area, they've tested the Rangers defence, and a couple of long balls have caught the Rangers central defenders out, so I think Tommy Burns will be a happy manager of the two.
Done back there by Bolly. That's Thompson. Now O'Neill, very comfortable coming forward. And Hooydonk finding McLaughlin, attacking John Brown. And that was a very important interception by Ian Ferguson. Donnelly was in behind him there for that. Well, the good close control shown by Van Hooydonk and Donnelly and McLaughlin causing problems for Rangers. Van Hooydonk, a major threat in the box now for Celtic. Tosh McKinlay lining up the end swinger. Brian O'Neill's on the goal line. Well taken by
Thompson. Very tall goalkeeper, 2 inches tall, stretching well for this. This is what Billy Thompson needs early in the game there. Good ball into the box, not a real good challenge alongside him, but able to come and get the ball comfortably, take it. That'll set him up well for the rest of the game. Boyd with Haitley. Well, I have a notion that Tom Boyd will relish the opportunity to pit his wits against Haitley. Ball was out of play there. Oh, Rudi Vata looks aggrieved, the Albanian international. Having a word at long range with the linesman, in what language I'm not sure. Back with Vata again. This is Boyd for Celtic. The target is Van Hooijdonk. Little whistle there with Alan McLaren, who's very strong in that situation. But Rangers unable at this stage to get the skillful men like Trevor Steven and Ian Durrant involved in the middle of the field. Ian Ferguson certainly battling hard in that area, but not enough passing coming from the midfield from Rangers, Terry.
No, once again we find in old firm games that there's just no time in the middle of the park. There's no time for any player to get hold of the ball, get it down and make your passes. It is a heavily congested area, but at the end of the day it's an area where players have to get the ball down to try and get any movement going. As you can see, another ball going out of play from the back foot. There's just no space, there's just no areas to drop balls into. So the game surely should settle down within the next few minutes.
It is Alec Cleland. On the far side is Durrant. Ian Ferguson goes outside him. That's a very good challenge made by Vata. Well, Durrant was making up his mind what pass to deliver. Now Trevor Steven. Grant going in strongly. This is Haitley. Good swerving effort there from Mark Haitley. Bonner got his body behind that.
It's good play once again, a good challenge by Peter Grant, but either Mark Haitley here just turns him onto his left foot. One thought about it, into the middle of the box. Brian Laudrup in fact was offside, but well worth a try.
Van Hooijdonk using his physique here to lean into McLaren.
Yeah, we talked about Mark Haitley's challenge with Brian O'Neill and everything else in that contest at the other end of the pitch, but Alan McLaren and Basil Bowley have their hands full with Pierre Van Hooijdonk. He's a handful in the air and on the deck as well.
In midfield is Grant. This is Paul McStay. Switching the play to the near side to Tosh McKinley. Collins is ahead of him. Well cut off by Moore. Very mature young player, Craig Moore. For his age in particular, he just turned 19 at the end of last year. Came through the Australian Institute at Sports Academy. Now Brown, McLaren inside. Good tight marking by Celtic in midfield, making it difficult for Rangers to work the ball through the middle of the field, as they normally like to do. And I suspect there may be a greater tendency from Rangers to try to find Mark Haitley with balls like this. It's well won by O'Neill. That's neat play by McLaughlin. Assessing all the options ahead. John Collins is well forward on the left. Into the gap it goes to Van Hooijdonk. He's with Bolly. Well, that's good play by Van Hooijdonk. And McLaughlin stopped by Brown. This is Ferguson. And John Collins nudging that ball back to McKinley. Celtic in possession again. They're getting all the loose balls in the hole in the middle of the field. Bolly's hit up. Laudrup comes across to put pressure on Tosh McKinley. There's Cleland against Collins. Steven takes over. That was a good challenge by O'Neill as Haitley tried to lay the ball off for Laudrup inside. O'Neill again with a header. Now Collins. Tackled well by Steven. So many players in a small area there, no space at all. conditions improving here in Glasgow as the sun comes out to give some encouragement further to the players. Still a shade tentative this opening spell. That's good play by Hateley. Now Loudon. First chance to have a run here against Tom Boyd. Well, Boyd is one of the quickest defenders in the country, and he did very well indeed there. Took up the challenge, Boyd, to halt Loudon.
Yes, great play by Brian Laudrup. Again, takes on Tommy Boyd for pace. Tommy Boyd does well, he uses his body well, but as you see, 2 or 3 Celtic players coming around Brian Laudrup, and a good block in the end by Tommy Boyd to put it for a corner. Good play by Celtic.
Laudrup's corner. That was Boyd attacking the ball in the air. Every Celtic player back to face the ball here. Here's Laudrup. Well, Peter Grant put him under so much pressure with a little lapse in control. And Trevor Stevens showing a new dimension to his play with that very good tackle. Donnelly and Moore together. Well, it's a very interesting contest that. Moore, a very accomplished central defender as well as right back. Also has played in right midfield for Rangers. Celtic supporters not at all happy with that. A little bit of indulgence by referee Mottram. Certainly Moore was trying to play the ball, but he seemed to go through Donnelly for it.
Yes, he did. The ball was there to be won, but under the new directive, I think the referee could have got the card out there. But Les Mottram once again showing that he is an excellent referee.
Here's Barter. McLaughlin goes outside. Well, Barter looked up for a long time there and realised surely that there was no one in the far post. And Hoydonk, coming a long way back, couldn't get into that area for Celtic.
Well, obviously we're not showing that replay there because it wasn't worth it, the ball behind the goal. I think Tommy Burns will be disappointed in that. We've got in a great position to put it behind for a goal kick is a tragedy, really.
Helped on there by Cleland. Peter Grant mopping up in midfield. Solnick stay in the same area as Durant. Grant against Ferguson. Collins there against Stephen. In the midfield. Barter being put under pressure here by Durant. That's a good strong challenge by Durant. He's been penalised. Well, shoulder to shoulder, and Barter wanted a lot longer on the ball than Durant would give him.
Yes, but here comes the shoulder-to-shoulder challenge. They're not quite shoulder-to-shoulder, but I think Rudy Vantage is dwelling on the ball a bit too long.
Great pass from McStay. This is McLaughlin. McLaren goes across. Still McLaughlin. And McLaren did very well with the block, allowing Brown to come clear. Carry the ball out for the throw. Some great passing there from Paul McStay in midfield to release Brian McLaughlin. McLaughlin's been rested last couple of matches by Celtic after a very long run in the side. Turned away again by McLaren. McLaren's header. Well, a strange tension about the stadium at this stage in the match. Midway through the first half, and little sign really of Rangers at their best so far. Here's Ian Ferguson. Good running on the right by Cleland. He has Laudrup ahead. Well, they wanted to leave that to Laudrup. McKinley took over. Well, perhaps an indication of the respect shown by Cleland there to Laudrup. That's a great pass under severe pressure. Peter Grant caught Stephen Lake, but he still managed to play a very accurate pass. The referees had words with Peter Grant.
Well, the ball was there to be won, but it just shows you that there's no time in the middle of the park. There's no time whatsoever. Brian Laudrup coming deeper into the midfield to try and get the ball off the Rangers players. He's getting fouled as well.
So Laudrup getting some of the treatment he's come to expect and cope with in the Scottish game. Careful play there by Vata. This is McLaughlin. Boyd made a good angle to receive the pass. It's over the top for Donnelly to chase. So the possession in the early stage of the match favouring Celtic. That's no real surprise the way the game has gone so far. There must be something of a worry to Rangers.
Well, not really, because they are the away team, and you would expect Celtic to dominate on their own patch, and Celtic traditionally do start very, very positively, very powerfully. So, they haven't conceded a goal yet. They've got more into the game. The game's gone on, and Laudrup is yet really to get on the ball. He's had one run, but that's about it. So Rangers will be fairly pleased with the way things have gone at the moment.
Well, Laudrup has been very well policed by Celtic so far in the match. Prevented the supply reaching him too frequently, and then closed them down very rapidly indeed. Here's Ian Ferguson. Under pressure. Given that away, perhaps. Collins with Moore. Still no space at all for the creative players in midfield. Van Hooijdonk back to McKinley. It's well read by Stephen. In goes Grant. And now Laudrup is away from O'Neill. Tom Boyd goes across. And the ball released early. And well claimed by Bonner as Hadley came in. Well, a glimpse again of Laudrup. Well, Tom Boyd once again was quickly there in support of Brian O'Neill, forcing him to hurry the cross. Planning with Van Hooijdonk. And it's Brown. Now Stephen. Has good control, ball still in play. Measures the pass for McClellan, excellent play by Stephen. Careless one there, allowing Collins to break. He has Donnelly and Van Hooijdonk, 3 against 3. Here's Collins, going all the way himself. Fine play by Collins. Well, his confidence is very high indeed, and he had only one thought there when the break was on. Really, the only saving grace is that that shot just going wide, that ball really fell onto John Collins' right foot, had it been on his left foot. You see, Clennon passes inside here, well read by John Collins. Now we see him going at Basil Bolly. You see the movement of the Celtic strikers across Basil Bolly. There goes Simon Donnelly, Pierre Van Hooijdonk staying out right, and the right foot shot just wide. But a good chance for John Collins. And Collins is the leading Celtic goal scorer this season, with 12 goals.
Once again, John Brown thinking he's playing for the Scottish Claymores, I think, on that occasion, just blocking his winger Brian McLaughlin. But good play by McLaughlin, he's tricky. John Brown now is on a knife edge because McLaughlin against him, could be a major problem.
And there is some activity down on the dugout below us. Change is going to be made, I think. And the player being withdrawn is John Brown himself. He is coming off. And Neil Murray is coming on.
Yes, Neil Murray will come on. I think Alex Cullen will go to left back. Neil Murray will go to the right-hand side. But so lucky for John Brown. I think it was a bit of a gamble. I think with his fitness and everything else coming back to play. But now he's unfortunately gone off. Neil Murray's on and Alex Cullen goes to left back.
Well, John Brown very much a favourite of the Rangers supporters, but clearly unhappy to be leaving this Old Firm match so early. He's missed the last couple of matches through injury, so perhaps coming back a shade too quickly. Free kick played in by Vata, headed away by Bolly. Hateley's layoff, that's Stephen.
So McKinley now has the throw. Collins under pressure from Moore. The throw goes to Rangers. Collins looking hopefully towards the referee for a foul. So Rangers now matching the nimble play of McLaughlin on the right-hand side with the pacey defending of Cleland. Well, they just made that against Durant. This is McStay. It's been given. That's a great contest in the middle of the park. Ian Ferguson versus Paul McStay. And Peter Grant, of course, is in there as well. So nothing asked for, nothing given. McLaughlin against Durant. Trying one too many. Ian Ferguson stood up well to that. Grant now to McStay. Celtic maintaining the pressure. It's a good spell. Pass was aimed for McLaughlin. Boyd doing well against Laudrup. This is Bata. And Bowley and Donnelly tangling in the edge of the penalty area. Donnelly trying to make a run, Bowley making sure he couldn't. Here's the ball played in here. You see Basil Bowley just holding his ground. Good play by the centre-half there. Just hold your position. The centre-forward can't get round here. The ball just runs nicely to the goalkeeper. So an Old Firm match which hasn't yet caught fire. Still full of interest, and Celtic having the better of things in the early stages. Welland quickly back to his goalkeeper. Reaching Rudy Vata only, not Laudrup as Haitley hoped. That's Ian Ferguson. Now Laudrup breaking. O'Neill's with him. Misunderstanding there with Durant. You can see the frustration all over his face. Fully expected Durant to make a run outside him. It didn't happen. By Hoydonk has been penalised. He's not happy with the Clarence challenge. So a little locking of horns there between the two players. The referee will take some action here, I think, to defuse the situation. Having words with the Dutchman. Pierre van Hooijdonk. McLaren highly amused by the whole incident. Headed away by Boyd. Haitley thought he was pushed early by Tom Boyd while the ball was in the air. That's why he complained to the referee. Good play from Rangers. That's more like the play which won the title. Ian Ferguson strong in the ball. Stephen made the turn. Moore still in space. Neil Murray outside him on the right. Careless one from defence again, giving possession easily to Celtic. Here's Bata. Welland intercepting the pass intended for Brian McLaughlin. Well, he's certainly causing a problem or two, McLaughlin, for the Rangers defence. Here's Boyd. O'Neill to McStay. Good running again by McStay. Taking a return pass from Grant. And Donnelly a bit ambitious there. McStay continued the run. They wanted a return pass. McLaughlin back to Bata. Van Hooijdonk waits in the middle. It's too high for Bolly and Van Hooijdonk. Stephen. Durant. Well, here's Durant at his best. He could go all the way himself here. It's great play. Choosing to play it wide for Haitley. Well, he does that brilliantly from midfield, Ian Durant. Lacked the confidence and conviction to go all the way himself. Boyd comes clear for Celtic. The offside flag up. Simon Donnelly, I think, was the culprit rather than Van Hooijdonk. Well, Ian Durant certainly had an opportunity there to go all the way had he believed in himself enough.
Yeah, I just think he ran out of puff when he was getting towards the end there and chose the option to pass it out wide. But a great break through the middle, very reminiscent of John Collins going through the middle with Scotland. Just seemed to open up for him. Had he had a bit more conviction, probably a bit more puff, he could have gone through and finished the ball, finished the move on his left foot.
Well, Tommy Burns has seen enough to bring him down to the track. He's now gesticulating to his players from that area. It's been in the director's box for the first half hour or so, but clearly wants some alterations made. All a little bit untidy. It ends with a throw to Rangers. Ian Fergus has been in the thick of the action right from the start. He's had a troubled season too through injury. Oh, a very powerful figure in the heart of that Rangers midfield. Marking is very tight indeed. Now Ian Ferguson nipping the ball away from Grant. It's back now with McLaren. This is Moore. Neil Murray's made a good run to the right, followed though by Brian O'Neill. Well, the distribution's been a problem for Rangers from the back to midfield and to the front. So here's O'Neill, who's developed into the top-class central defender this season, starting his career in midfield. Here's Collins, wrestled down by Stephen. So the free kick held up there. There was an attempt to play a quick one by Van Hooijdonk initially, then Collins, but Van Hooijdonk has been told to move into the penalty area rather than look for a long-range shot. Here's Rudy Vata. Donnelly's dummy, it was a good one. And Bolly coped extremely well there. Kept his head. This is Tom Boyd. Vata again. It's back with O'Neill. And the ball's overshot there as far as Simon Donnelly is concerned. Well, this is the first of a double-header this afternoon on Sky Sports, and the big game coming up later on this afternoon at 4 o'clock, Manchester United against Sheffield Wednesday. It kicks off at 4 o'clock. It's live on Sky Sports. This is Paul McStay. And now Vata, seeing a lot of the ball on the right-hand side for Celtic. Donnelly's come with his marker well. It's very good close control, little Simon Donnelly. A lot of injury problems this season also. Hately plays it wide. This is Durant. Loudop makes the run. He's followed by O'Neill, who must make the tackle count. He's late, and there's trouble for O'Neill. Well, there's that little extra touch of acceleration from Loudop, but he gets close to that. And Brian O'Neill is going to be booked.
So I think he's just a bit unlucky there, Brian O'Neill. It's not a dangerous tackle or anything else, just that Brian Loudop just waited a little while, saw the defender coming in, just knocked it past him and then took the sliding tackle. But just a bit unlucky to be booked. Just Loudop's frightening pace, really.
Always seems to find an extra gear when he's in a tight situation. There's the free kick taken by Durant. And Hately not happy about the challenge of O'Neill. There's words there with the referee.
Just see at the bottom of that picture, Mark. He just held there. I think we can say this one's 1-1 really when it comes to blocking typical American football tackles. So that's even Steven so far.
Yes, could have been the second penalty of the match quite easily. One, I think, would have been appropriate for each side. Good play by Grant. Donnelly's gone down. Grant is impeded by Bolly. That's a free kick. Peter Grant showing his determination from midfield.
He just flicks it past Basil Bolly. Basil Bolly just turns round, blocks Peter Grant there. I think the referee is quite right with that. An incident beforehand, we have Simon Donnelly down on the pitch. He did shield the ball. Craig Moore came in with the tackle. He shielded the ball and caught the full impact of Craig Moore's challenge, looks like in his lower back.
So Brian Scott, the Celtic physio, giving the treatment to Donnelly. Well, Simon Donnelly has seen enough of the treatment table this season. I think they last him a lifetime.
Officially fit to continue. Celtic supporters happy at this stage. They've had the better of the exchanges so far. And they have a very good opportunity here for the free kick. Taken by Collins. And now Peter Grant. Collins nodding it down. McLaren reacted quickly inside the area ahead of O'Neill. That's Boyd. An offside decision, I think, has been given there by the referee, not by the linesman. Or has it? No, he's given a free kick to Celtic. Not at all clear why at this stage.
I think we can see why here Alan McLaren goes in, just catches, or whether it catches his arm, but catches Brian O'Neill with that header. So the referee, a free kick about 35 yards out.
Peter Grant over the free kick. O'Neill at the corner of the box. Wide for Vata to change the angle for the cross. Thompson struggling a little there under severe pressure. Did enough though to help the ball on to safety. Haitley finds Murray. Stephen. Good tackle by Donnelly, who's made a full recovery obviously. That's Grant looking for Collins. Very good play there by Moore, stringing the ball from Collins. Showing amazing maturity for one so young.
Yes, Craig Moore. Just, I think what we've seen so far in the game has been some tremendous blocks by defenders. They've held off attack as well, and the referee unable. I think if he gives one, he has to give them all.
That's good running by McLaren, but he couldn't control that at pace. So Celtic have the throw. Moving towards half-time. Very few chances in the match so far. Defending has been resilient. Midfield marking very tight indeed. Here's Craig Moore now for Rangers. Lauder was crossed to the right. That's a good tackle by McKinley. And now Donnelly in possession. Thomas Stevens won it back, and now Celtic in control. McKinley's caught upfield here. As Laudrup advances. Well, Brian O'Neill did very well indeed again there, standing up to Laudrup, not diving into the tackle. But it is a corner kick to Rangers. Corner kick count there, showing Rangers with an edge. Well won by O'Neill. Laudrup told Callan exactly where to run. Invited him to go into that space, but couldn't find him with a back heeler. Trouble Ryan Laudrup there, waving to the supporters. And Hoydonk and Moore clash very strongly there, but it's a throw to Celtic. Here's Collins. Donnelly, Van Hoydonk. Forced to hurry by Moore. The offside flag was up on the far side in any event. So free kick it is to Celtic, to Rangers rather. So it's a free kick which will go left to Billy Thompson in goal. O'Neill's header, that's Murray. Tackled well by Grant. Murray wins it back for Rangers in that heavily populated midfield area. And Bartley going in with his boot up there against Durant. Certainly going for the ball, no doubt about that, but he did catch Durant.
You see that both sets of studs are high, and just catches him on the top of the head, but I think that was a incidental shot.
And Laudrup goes down this time. Tom Boyd is the culprit. He'll be in trouble for that. Referee Mottram calling Boyd over. Well, Laudrup getting some very tough treatment in this match. I'm sure he expected nothing else. Well, Tom Boyd is being lectured. There's no yellow card shown.
He picks it up here. Good play here by Laudrup, but I think he's just too quick for Tommy Boyd. And at the end of the day, if Brian O'Neill was booked for the first tackle, I think Tommy Boyd can count himself lucky that he wasn't booked for that one.
Durant's free kick, looking for Haitley. Well, he's deadly in that position, but Brian O'Neill did very well jumping against him to make sure that he couldn't get a free header.
Once again, another good block by a central defender, just backs into Mark Haitley, allowing him not much space to attack the ball, and at the end of the day, Mark Haitley can only guide that down to Pat Bonner.
Boyd in possession again. McLaren wins it. Grant's determination wins it back for Celtic. This is Van Hooydonk. Space on the right for Vata. For a corner kick to Celtic. Ian Durant doubling back there. So the big men go forward. Ryan O'Neill is there. Van Hooydonk in the middle of the action. So all square corners, no goals yet, and Tosh McKinley has a corner kick for Celtic. Well, at full stretch there, Vata got a touch to the ball. It will be a Rangers throw. Murray judged that correctly. This is Trevor Stephen. No one making any space there on the left, so Stephen turns back. This is Bolly. Under pressure. Playing it in there for Collins, and Craig Moore turns it away from the corner. Pierre Van Hooydonk peeling off there to the right, saying just onside.
Bazza Bolly lost the ball in midfield, then good ball outside to Pierre Van Hooydonk. He has a good ball in the middle, and Craig Moore does very well. Doesn't allow it to go to goalkeeper, makes sure and puts the ball behind for a corner. I mean, that's good defending. I mean, if you're in that position, just make sure something positive happens. Just make sure that you clear your lines and allow your team to regroup.
So Basil Bolly needs some treatment. He was at full stretch there when he went under pressure and he tried to play the ball forward, and clearly he's done some damage. Won't take him out of the play though. Well, this would be a terrific time for either side to score in terms of psychological boosts. Stay called for that. He's onside. Vata's header. There's McLaren. An offside decision given inside the penalty box. That takes the pressure off the Rangers' defence. A discussion there between McLaren and Thompson. Rudy Vata using his aerial power inside the box.
And just see the bottom of the pitch, the Rangers defenders coming out. When this ball's played to the far post, you see two Celtic players offside, Pierre Van Hooydonk, I think it was Brian McLaughlin. So good decision by the linesman. He's also my doctor, so a fabulous decision.
McLaren getting in behind Bolly for the clearance. There's Collins. Bolly again. Well, the bulk of the play confined to that strip on the pitch. Not much space to allow the midfield players to develop moves. And as the ball goes out, the throw is given. Some thoughts about it being a free kick.
Yes, I think there probably was a foul by Durant, but Tanazen gave a throw in once more.
The throw this time goes to Rangers. Van Hooydonk not happy.
It just shows really that the game itself has been very scrappy. Any challenges and he loose balls, and players have been able to get hold of the ball. There's been no space whatsoever. So with half-time whistle coming, hopefully we'll have a better second half.
Well, first half certainly not one which will be memorable in Old Firm history. John Collins tried very hard for Celtic to create something, and one very good chance when he went through on his own. And Brian Laudrup also produced a couple of great moves for Rangers. But half-time, no goals at Hampden. It's Celtic 0, Rangers 0.
Former Rangers skipper Terry Butcher and
discussions going on there among the Celtic players who've had great debut with goal scoring this season, as Andy Gray said. They scored 34 goals in 33 matches before today, and that's the
Poorest scoring record in the Premier Division. It really is quite remarkable, Terry. It's quite remarkable, really. You think about it, if they had scored more goals, would have had a lot more points and would have been challenging Rangers probably for the title, or would have been in Europe. So let's see what's going to happen in the second half. Referee Les Mottram checks his watch and allows Celtic to restart the match. And they will be anxious to have men like Paul McStay and John Collins and more involved in the middle of the field. Paul McStay certainly working very hard, but John Collins was subdued greatly by the Celtic setup by the Rangers setup, with Craig Moore doing well against him in that area. So a pattern of play which emerged in the first half with Celtic dominating territorially, and Rangers now trying to do something about that. Ian Durrant starting off wide on the left-hand side of the four-man midfield as he played in the first half. Josh McKinley's pass. There's Donnelly, challenged by Bolly. Celtic too had come off a very good run, 9 games without defeat, and then they lost 3 out of 4 coming into this match. Quite a remarkable record. Lost to Aberdeen away, Hearts at home, and Partick Thistle at home. Good running there. Loudrop in play, in position, and Haitley calling for that at the far post area. There was a deflection, so it will be a corner kick. Loudrop shakes his head there. Haitley was the player calling for the ball as Durrant threaded that through. He has a good positive start here. Loudrop in a good position. Just gets a slight deflection as it goes past, but a good positive start by Rangers in the second half. There's Durrant with the corner. Headed away by Van Hooydonk, back in defence for Celtic. This is Ferguson. And now Durrant. Taken out there by Grant. Free kick's been given. Well, Grant goes across to offer his hand. Yeah, it's definitely a block there. Just steps in his way. Similar to when Basil Bowley fouled Peter Grant in virtually the same position in the first half. So a free kick in a dangerous area for Rangers. Durrant takes it quickly. Won by Varta inside the box. That's McLaughlin. Now Collins. McLaughlin again. Grant's dummy was effective. There's McStay. Couldn't take the ball with him. Volley to Stephen. On the far side, on the right, is Loudrop for Rangers. Going outside McKinley. That's a good ball in. Too close to Bonner though. So here's Paul McStay for Celtic. Donnelly's gone to the right. McLaughlin's through the middle. Beaten to that by Bolly. Boyd to Varta. Donnelly back to McStay. Space on the far side for McKinley. Collins calls for the ball. Goes down quickly by Moore. Donnelly inside for Van Hooydonk. Well, he goes down there as McLaren challenges, but a very hopeful appeal there for a penalty. McLaren simply standing his ground there against the Dutch striker. Played wide by Ferguson, asking a lot of Murray. He's tackled very firmly by McStay. McLaren taking no chances there with the clearance. Now back with Rudy Varta. McLaughlin fouled by Cleland from the rear. Anyway, a very interesting contest, these two. Alec Cleland now against Brian McLaughlin. Varta's pass. Here's Donnelly. Charged all the way there by McLaren. He's done well, Donnelly, to retain possession. Stephen clears up for Rangers. Here's Loudrop. Well, again, the cover is good by Celtic. Boyd and Varta combining. Durrant wins it back for Rangers. Thompson with a good clearance. Haitley's layoff to Ferguson, and Peter Grant makes a tackle which upsets referee Mottram. Well, Peter Grant clearly aggrieved by that decision, and I must say I had some sympathy. Yes, here comes the challenge here. Wins the ball magnificently well, but it's right in front of the referee, and the referee couldn't have been closer. But in my opinion, that definitely wasn't a foul. Great tackle by Peter Grant.
Moore halted by McKinley. Good play by Bolly. Bolly stepping away from Van Hooydonk. McLaren to Durant. Forced to hurry there by Boyd. That produced the error. Collins now in possession. Now Paul McStay has McLaughlin ahead. McStay again. That's a fine pass by Grant. McKinley now being faced by Moore. Once again, Moore did enough to halt the progress of that cross, but still Celtic have possession. McLaughlin. Linking with Donnelly. Good running by McLaughlin. Van Hooydonk. The great shot by Van Hooydonk. And Celtic take the lead. Well, that was a classic. Created by Brian McLaughlin. It's brilliant play by the little midfield man.
He just goes past two tackles here now, just dinks the ball past Alan McLaren. Now Van Hooydonk adjusts his feet. Look at this power. Look at that goal. Straight past Billy Thompson's right hand. Good play by McLaughlin there. Just sets himself up nicely. On possibly his weaker foot. It's 1-0 Celtic.
Oh, this is great play by little Brian McLaughlin. He's so hard to handle coming forward at pace. But the setup there by Van Hooydonk and the finish so deadly. Well, 7th goal of the season for Pierre Van Hooydonk, and that will bring this game to life. It's been a subdued Old Firm match so far, but you can wait for the difference now. Rangers will not accept that without a major effort, that's for sure. So Pierre Van Hooydonk, the hero of the hour for Celtic, as Laudrup takes this corner kick. Durant. Back with Stephen. Lofted across there by Durant. Another corner kick given to Rangers. Well, it certainly has had the effect of stinging Rangers to life. They did give the impression they may be content with a 0-0 draw, but that will not be their position now. An error there by Bonner. He's still on the ground. There's a ball returned by Durant. Well, Pat Bonner requires some attention here, but he certainly was in trouble with this corner kick.
There's that ball put right on top of him. Up goes Alan McLaren in there, just drops the ball. Whether he caught Alan McLaren's arm, I'm not too sure, but the ball was in a dangerous area. And eventually, the ball goes behind for goalkeeper. As you can see there, Celtic goalkeeper Pat Bonner, bit of a bloody nose, bit of a bang to his face, so he'll require the magic sponge, I think.
Well, the Celtic supporters now enjoying this very much indeed. That goal coming early in the second half, and it was a result of a flash of inspiration again, Terry. It needed something in the game, someone to do something individual.
Yes, so it's Brian McLaughlin on that left flank, coming inside, going past two tackles and running straight at the heart of the Rangers defence, committing Alan McLaren. The ball eventually going to Pierre Van Hooydonk, and on his right foot, a great finish. I mean, he'll be well pleased, Pierre Van Hooydonk, with that finish. I mean, that should set him up nicely for the cup final in just under 3 weeks' time, but he's been in that at the side. He's been struggling a little bit, but this positive run by Brian McLaughlin. He goes past Trevor Stephen. Ian Ferguson goes past straight to Alan McLaren, dinks the ball past him. Now, Alan McLaren had a decision to make, the wrong decision at the end of the day, and a powerful finish. You don't give Pierre Van Hooydonk that amount of space, because it does end up in the back of your net.
So Pat Bonner's still in trouble, and it looks as though he got a hand on the face. Let's see that here.
Yeah, there was a right-hander, I think. I think possibly Alan McLaren had a word with Frank Bruno at half-time with that one. So,
wow.
in boxing terms, he'd be counted out by now. But
an overarm right from McLaren there on Bonner. Well, McLaren going in a very committed fashion there, but he certainly was reckless in the use of the arms. And lucky, perhaps, that referee Les Morton didn't have that view of the incident. So damage to the bridge of the nose there for Bonner. A long hold up here. You see the cut there, just at the bridge of the nose.
Well, that would do Pat Bonner no good at all. He was underneath the ball, I think, in any event. He was struggling a little bit to judge the flight of the ball at that stage under severe pressure. And that right arm of McLaren did the damage all right. I'd be tempted now, if I was Rangers, to really put that ball into the penalty area again, and whether Pat Bonner will have thoughts about another collision, thoughts about his nose and whatever, because these sort of balls I'd put more into the penalty area now. You see, Pat Bonner gets blocked the first time, gets really underneath it through no challenge. I mean, he did drop the ball before the challenge came in, so I'd say Rangers should pump more balls into the box and get Mark Hateley onto England. So there's McLaren looking on there as Pat Bonner now takes the goal kick. Keep the game going. Pushing the back by Bolly on Van Hooijdonk. Well, Pierre Van Hooijdonk has his critics for not being around the penalty box enough. His linking up play is excellent, but some people think he's not in the area enough, but on that occasion he's certainly produced the goods. Here's McKinley. Tackled by Moore, but there was no infringement there. Referee waves for the goal kick. Header on there by Grant. That's Donnelly. McLaughlin. Back it goes from McLaren. Here's McStay holding off Stephen. Goes for the ball to the run, uses him as a decoy. Durant came back. Here's McStay again. Clumsy touch in the pass. He still has been very effective though for Celtic this afternoon. Yes, he has been effective. He's had his critics much more this season, but he's the sort of player that leads by example, the sort of captain of the side that can get out of the ball, and he's non-stop running and non-stop effort as an example to the rest of his teammates. So he'll be looking forward to leading Celtic out in the cup final. McLaren's header, helped on there by Stephen. Low drop straight through the middle at the moment. Hayden a little bit deeper. Well, this would be a major boost to Celtic if they could win this match so close to the cup final, especially after a recent troubled run. Turned away by McLaren. But he walked over the lines when he thought that Pierre Van Hooijdonk was putting himself out too much. Van Hooijdonk goes down. He's not happy with the throw from Bata. He's arguing with his teammate. Well, the Albanian argues with the Dutchman about a throw-in. I don't know what language they were speaking then, whether it was Scottish or whatever, but Pierre Van Hooijdonk now, he must be confident. The rest of the Celtic team must be confident now that that goal would have given them a tremendous boost. They haven't got many goals this season, so to go into the lead in this game, in this big old firm game, obviously will be a lot more confidence to their ranks. Here's Simon Donnelly. Grant. Now Collins. Donnelly again. Hustled there by Stephen. Celtic win it back with Collins. Van Hooijdonk at the far post. Team towards him. And a very good block by Thompson. A superb first touch by Van Hooijdonk to give himself the chance. John Collins does well on the left-hand side. Has a look there at the far post, which is a dangerous ball in now. Alan McLaren can't do much about this. Flicks the ball on, but good touch by Van Hooijdonk here. Across the face of the goal, but a good save by Billy Thompson with his feet. Celtic encouraged again. Another good attack. Here's Bata. Now Donnelly. Stephen retrieves for Rangers. That's great play by McStay. Bata funneled off the ball by Ferguson. The whistle is gone. Ferguson didn't appear to hear it. Well, he is the sort of player who will get fired up in this situation. Yes, he won't like a match. He's 1-0 down, but he goes a little bit reckless then. He's just got to keep his head a little bit in those situations, because now Celtic can swing a dangerous free kick into the box. Here's Bata. Well won by Bolly. This is Durant. Now Murray. Stopped by Grant. This is Collins. That's fine play. here. Van Hooijdonk tries to find Collins again. Trevor Stephen forced to hurry there, makes the mistake. Well, Rangers now have to lift their game, and that's never easy. Collins is offside. Must have been very close indeed. But there was that feeling, Terry, about Rangers. They were quite content to be on level terms. Yes, you can just see John Collins offside there. But, I mean, Celtic's passing, Celtic's confidence has grown since that goal. They're knocking the ball around a lot better. Consequently, you can see Rangers play becoming a bit more frustrated. They are 1-0 down. There's a little bit of time left in the match, admittedly, but they still want, still feel that they want to get back on equal terms straight away. So a lot more urgency now about the Rangers play. So there's the offside count. Well, that tells a story all on its own, doesn't it? Volley flights it in. It's too long for Hateley. Here's Laudrup. McLaughlin tried to find Vata. Laudrup kept it in play. That's a good recovery by Vata. Neat play by Donnelly. This is McStay. Looking for Donnelly again. He's away from McLaren. Chance on again for Celtic. Donnelly going all the way himself, and it's tapped in by Moore. An own goal by Craig Moore. Celtic go 2 ahead. Joy again for the Celtic supporters. Dejection for Craig Moore, but great play by Simon Donnelly. Well, this move started deep in the Celtics half. Simon Donnelly using a bit of pace here. Alan McLaren always struggling to get back to him now. He gets up across heads the ball across the box, and poor Craig Moore, in an effort then to try and divert the ball for a corner, puts it into his own net. Simon Donnelly has a look across the box, puts it across the penalty area. Craig Moore trying to put it for a corner. Did what I used to do many times with Rangers, put it in the back of my own net. So an own goal by Craig Moore after 61 minutes, and Rangers now really have a mountain to climb. And one very interesting aspect of that goal was the fact that Simon Donnelly, who's not the quickest striker in the country by any means, was leaving Alan McLaren behind. Well, he left him behind him, really left him for dead. It wasn't so much a turn of pace. Alan McLaren was caught on the wrong side of him and just couldn't get back, and knew that if he brought him down, it would mean that he was off the pitch. That's very good play again there by Rudi Vata, defending for Celtic, escorting Durant to the byline for that corner kick. Hateley's header from a very long way out. No problem there for the Celtic defence. Well, let's have another look at that goal, which young Craig Moore will be having really nightmares about. Great play by Paul McStay initially. Yes, superb play by Paul McStay, deep inside his own half now. Simon Donnelly, McLaren knows he can't bring him down, puts the ball across, and that's superbly finished by Craig Moore, but unfortunately in the back of his own net. But it just shows a good play. Celtic in there from their own half. Great passing play, and Paul McStay obviously a lovely ball inside. And Hooijdonk helps it on. McLaren wins it from Donnelly. Tough exchange there in midfield. Ferguson winning that from Vata, who didn't appreciate the failure for the referee to blow. Laudrup. Can he bring Rangers into the match again? Pat Bonner down swiftly as Ian Ferguson came in. A bit of damage to his nose there. Laudrup taking on Brian O'Neill, and he just goes on the outside. Gets the ball across, but Pat Bonner just gets ahead of it. Ahead of Ian Ferguson, who's coming in, but Pat Bonner showing no affection that blow in the nose, and obviously he'd be pleased to take another couple of blows in the nose if it means Celtic go 3 or 4 in the line. Bolly misjudged the bounce. Here's Van Hooijdonk. Bolly has it back. And the remarkable statistic is that Celtic have now equalled their best tally in a Premier Division match this season. They've never scored more than 2 in a Premier Division match this season. In fact, they've only scored more than 2 against Premier Division opposition once, and that was in the Cup against Hibs when they won the replay by 3 goals to 1. So, equalling their best tally. They won by 2 goals to 0 at Ibrox early in the season. Almost out of play there from Cleland, but Celtic have possession again in any event. Here's Cleland again. by Ferguson, too long. In any event, Durant was offside. Well, Rangers certainly have gone past the winning post in the championship, but they won't be happy about the fact they lost their last match against Motherwell by 2-0 at home, and they're 2 down again. Yes, they're 2 down. I mean, the Rangers really haven't passed the ball around as they know that they can do, and obviously have done in the past. So, if anything, Celtic, by their initial start and by their passing, everything else have deserved to be in front, I would say, and especially on chances created they have. Van Hooijdonk turning away from Durant. That's for Collins. Van Hooijdonk again. Stephen did a good defensive chore there. Now Murray, back to Stephen. Laudrup has found space on the right. And away from McKinley. This is Ian Ferguson. Touched back delicately there by Bata, but effectively. Here's Donald. Throw it is to Rangers. Simon Donnelly doing his cause no harm at all, though, in terms of a cup final place. Holding the back of his leg as though he may have damaged a hamstring, though. Certainly will not want to leave the field, I'm sure, alongside this healthy lead. So activity further on the Celtic bench. We're going to make another change, I think, before long. I think Simon Donnelly will be replaced. Willie Faulkner being prepared for action. Craig Moore being cheered every time he's on the ball by the Celtic supporters. Appreciation of that own goal. Bonner returning the ball very effectively to Tosh McKinley. That's beyond Bowley for Donnelly. Well, a title, I think, to expect some support in the middle. He's very late in arriving. He has taken up some excellent positions, but limping. He's definitely struggling.
Yes, he's obviously looked okay there with his hamstring or wherever he was clutching. And the ball across the face of the area was one where he would have expected another striker to come into. But Tommy Burns decides after that great run by Sam Donald to take him off. I think he's going to make the substitution now.
Yes, number 10 is Simon Donnelly, who's performed very well indeed, the 20-year-old, but clearly in some discomfort. And being given a very warm round of applause by the Celtic supporters as he departs. Principal of his contribution to that second goal. And on comes the experienced figure of Willie Faulkner. So it'll be striker for striker. Free kick to Rangers. Alan McLaren has a lot of power in that right boot. He may well test Pat Bonner. He can get this beyond the wall. Well, not having the happiest of days, the Scotland defender. Well off target there. Nothing else prepared about that free kick.
No, complete hash of a free kick. And he did score against Dundee United a few weeks ago from a longer distance than that, so perhaps the distance was a bit too short for Alan McLaren on this occasion, but an ideal opportunity for Rangers goes wasting again.
Well, Rangers have never lost 3 goals this season in a Premier Division match. So it could be history in the making for both clubs if Celtic could get another. And here's a chance for Collins. McKinley forward. This is Faulkner. Well played by Thompson. Walter Smith has gone down to the Rangers bench.
There's a good ball in across the face of the area. Once again, both Celtic strikers have peeled away to the far post.
2-1 by McStay. Throw it over Rangers, but Walter Smith consultation with Archie Knox down on the bench below us to see if he can think of a way to change the pattern of the play here. He has Alexei Mikhalichenko available to come on. Ryan Hoydok couldn't get to that. The attention to McLaren made sure of that. The offside flag has gone up. Here's Durant, who was coming back after the last attack. Now Rudy Barta for Celtic. Just in play, was it? No. To the linesman. The Rangers playing into a stiffening breeze now. Well, the Celtic defenders have provided each other with terrific cover in this match. Barta there challenging Hately, Boyd coming in behind him. Here's Craig Moore getting his regular cheer now. That's a corner kick to Rangers. So the corner kick count being won very healthily by Rangers. Here's Laudrup. McLaren did well attacking that. Collins on the post, tidying up. Now McLaren did well to reach that, but had no real chance to have real direction or power into the header. Did well to get it on target at all. Here's Durant, now inside to Moore. He's in trouble. Grant makes the tackle. Laudrup towards Ferguson. Here's Murray. Stevens stepping away from McLaughlin. The first time, not the second though. The throw goes to Celtic. Well, Celtic looking very comfortable at this stage in the match on this lead.
Yes, looking very comfortable. Rangers really huffing and puffing, not creating any chances, not really playing with a lot of fluency and everything else. In fact, Celtic look to be the side that probably could score more goals.
Kennedy's clearance. The throw taken quickly by Moore. The possession with Rangers in the second half, but not really in the key areas of the field. That's the big difference. They haven't been threatening back one or two frequently. Here's Willie Faulkner, tackled by Murray, and Murray a little kick at him after they're gone. A little bit of petulance there, and Murray, I think, lucky referee Mutton didn't spot that. Still exchanging words with Faulkner. Durant, beaten to that by Boyd, who's been very solid in central defence beside Brian O'Neill for Celtic. The ambitious pass by McKinley goes out. But perhaps the balance for Rangers has been difficult here, Terry, with no one naturally effective wide on the left.
No, not really, but it's been disappointing when Brian Laudrup has gone onto the ball. That really hasn't produced what he has produced all season, in fact, telling crosses and inch-perfect passes. And sometimes if Laudrup doesn't get on the ball, doesn't get the service or whatever, when he has the ball, he's got to use it well. But on this occasion, he hasn't used it well at all, and it's disappointing for a player who's done so well all year.
Well, here's a change which may change that pattern of play somewhat. Number 8 is Ian Ferguson. He's coming off. Our man has been struggling with some injuries earlier in the season, and the replacement is Alexei Mikhalichenko. Well, that will give Rangers perhaps a little bit of creative talent on the left. Mikhalichenko.
I think what they'll do with Mikhalichenko, obviously he goes to the left-hand side, Laudrup will go on the right-hand side, and they'll push Ian Durant up alongside Mark Patrick to try and play 4 up, to try and say, well, we'll give it a go and try and get some goals back.
Ball's out of play. That'll be a throw to Rangers. Mikhalichenko certainly has slotted into that wide left position straight away. Laudrup's going to cross to the right. This is Durant. Now Stephen. First touch from Mikhalichenko. He's in trouble straight away. Barta's tackle. Faulkner with Van Hooydonk to his right.
Well, what an opportunity that was. Lost by Van Hooydonk's lapse in concentration. Big stay. Out Collins. Laudrup got a touch. That's Moore. And Laudrup under severe pressure from Paul McStay. Illegal pressure, though, says the referee. It's a free kick to Rangers. Well, this is a typical, really, of the game. Laudrup receiving the ball in tight situations. The player on his back and Paul McStay just leaning into him, pushing him over. But slightly unlucky, but that's typical of the game, really. Laudrup on the ball, receiving the ball in areas where he has people around him. Across it goes from Bolly to Cleland. Bolly pushing forward now. Cleland sending it along towards Hateley. Here's Trevor Stephen. Breaks back towards Durant, and Boyd was very strong on the tackle. Excellent defending again by Boyd. McLaughlin teasing Cleland, taking the ball away from him. Came off Cleland last. Throw to Celtic. Well, Pierre Van Hooijdonk has been quoted as saying he's always astonished when Celtic go in front that they still look for more goals. In Holland, he says, they would retain what they have and sit on the lead. And there he was saying to Rudy Vata to calm things down. Well, the traditional Celtic style is to keep going forward all the time. Here's Moore. Now Durant. Showing too much of that to Vata. But Celtic certainly forcing Rangers to do everything in a hurry, especially in the middle of the field in the creative areas. Mikhalichenko well offside. Another alteration will be made by Celtic, and Pierre Van Hooijdonk is going to be withdrawn. Phil O'Donnell waiting to make his appearance. Pierre Van Hooijdonk applauds the Celtic supporters. They respond in kind. The man who opened up the game with that terrific opening goal early in the second half takes the acclaim of the crowd as he leaves the field. And Phil O'Donnell goes on. So there's the change. Van Hooijdonk off, O'Donnell on. So $1.25 million replaced by $1.75 million in terms of transfer fees. And Celtic have stiffened up the midfield with that move, leaving only Faulkner on his own up front, supported by Brian McLaughlin. Faulkner is offside. So Celtic intent now in tying the game up and sitting in this lead, I think. Headed away by McStay. This is Faulkner. Back it goes from Collins to McKinley. Bolly's header. Now Rudy Vata. O'Donnell to the outside. Vata goes inside. And McLaren came to block the shot. Here's McStay. McLaughlin. McStay with a shot. McLaren did well. That's O'Donnell, but Collins is offside.
The ball pops up, you just see the header inside. That was a bit of a tight offside there, but the linesman's flag was up straight away. Very tight there, John Collins is nipping in behind the Rangers defence, but anything Celtic do now, the passing, everything else seems to be coming off their overs, the flicks, and everything else. Whereas for Rangers, things aren't quite working their way.
That's a great header by Hateley. Here's Mikhalichenko. Boyd giving him no space at all. It's good defending again by Boyd. Now McStay can break. Only Faulkner up front. McLaughlin invited to come short. Bellin wins it for Rangers. This is McLaren. Well, precious few signs at the moment that Rangers can do much about this. Celtic have a stranglehold in the play. So, for the moment, the major consolation for the Rangers supporters is the news of the possible arrival of Paul Gascoigne from Lazio for next season. Certainly been disappointing as far as this match has been concerned for the Rangers supporters. Celtic in no hurry, the Celtic supporters gesticulating towards their opposite numbers, savouring the moment. Push in the back there on Faulkner by Cleland, gives the free kick to Celtic. Faulkner calling for the ball as Vata launches it forward. Faulkner got up well to that, there's McLaughlin! Still to score for Celtic. What a moment that would have been. Well, it's Route 1 football really, a long ball through. Willie Faulkner gets up, superb goal, good flick on. And Brian McLaughlin just snatches at the ball on his weaker foot, admittedly, but lovely flick on here, on his left foot. Just not quite the right balance and shape to put that past Billy Thompson, but a great chance nevertheless. A great header by Willie Faulkner. Basil Bowley needing some attention again. Being the Wars this afternoon. Won't be enjoying this state of affairs, trailing by 2-0 inside the closing 10 minutes. There's Collins showing excellent control. McStay. Here's O'Donnell. Towards McLaughlin. Stephen followed the ball to win possession for Rangers. Cleland putting Billy Thompson under severe pressure there. Keeper did well in the end as McLaughlin closed in on him. Yes, bit of slack play here by Alec Cleland, and Billy Thompson really taken the only safe option he had was to, instead of playing the ball against the Celtic player, to put it back for a throw. O'Donnell to Vata. Back from McStay. Celtic quite happy with the way the game is going now, keeping the ball inside the Rangers half, in the wide positions. It's won by Cleland, but using an arm to do so. Handball there against Cleland. Another free kick to Celtic. And no hurry about it either. So 3 in the wall here. Collins could bend this. He scored for Celtic! Rudy Vata makes it 3-0 to Celtic. And Billy Thompson was beaten by the surprise element here. Well, quite incredible free kick by Rudy Vata here. Everybody thought John Collins was going to hit it. He just got it round the inside of the wall. Billy Thompson could not get across. Great angle here, just inside that near post. Billy Thompson just couldn't get away. I think he was more conscious about getting down and hitting his head on the post or whatever, but couldn't quite get across. Superbly struck free kick. Everybody was expecting the free kick from John Collins. 3-0. So the first time Celtic have scored 3 in the Premier Division this season. The first time Rangers have lost 3 in the Premier Division this season. And it's joy all around for the Celtic supporters. Well, it really has been a lacklustre performance by Rangers, but they're being punished heavily. Rudy Vata producing his first goal. And capping a very good overall performance by the Albanian international. That's Trevor Stevens' cross, and it was turned away there by McStay. It's a corner kick to Rangers. Well, Rangers supporters now leaving the stadium, seeing no prospect of recovery now. Here's Ian Durant with the corner. Headed away by Vata, straight to Cleland. Boyd won it for Celtic. McLaughlin's ahead of him. He's onside. He's inside his own half. This could be a fourth. He's brought down there by Thompson. Billy Thompson will be on the goal, I'm sure.
to add to the misery for Rangers. The red card for something. Free kick outside the box, and the Rangers goalkeeper is on the off. Well, I think too that Brian McLaughlin had overcarried the ball in any event.
Yes, that was a pretty tight offside, but nevertheless, McLaughlin came through here. He's faced with Billy Thompson. The sinks on the left-hand side. Billy Thompson, as we could see, just outside the area. No alternative but to bring him down. Billy Thompson off now. It'll be interesting to see who Rangers do substitute for Ali Maxwell.
Well, they're bringing up Brian Loudrup. Loudrup is being withdrawn to allow Maxwell to face this free kick. So Rangers ending this match in disarray. Off goes Brian Loudrup. Totally dejected. And Maxwell comes on to face the free kick. Every Rangers player back facing the ball. Huge wall. Now, Collins is there. Vata is there. McStay to the right. McLaughlin over the ball. Very well blocked there by Cleland. Dumped away there by Moore. Here's Peter Grant. And now Tom Boyd. This is Vata. Cleared by McLaren to Haitley. In goes Boyd very strongly into the back of Haitley. Haitley's on the ground. It was a very hefty challenge by Boyd. Well, the Celtic scars all around the stadium now as they celebrate a victory which they'll remember for a very long time. It won't matter to these Celtic supporters, the league has been won by Rangers. Boyd and O'Neill together. Moore heavily into the back of Collins. This is Stephen. Now Moore. Tackle from Grant. A free kick given to Rangers. Stevens on the ground. Well, it's an afternoon of misery for Rangers, Terry.
Yes, it is an afternoon of misery. The Rangers haven't played very well at all, but they haven't been allowed to play really. Must give Celtic credit because they've hustled and bustled Rangers into making errors. The midfield area, as we said in the first half, was very congested, but ever since Brian Loudrup got on the ball, any chance he had of getting on the ball, they've got men around him. They defended well from the back to the front. And when they got the ball in the danger area, and the positive numbers, even that first goal lifted them enormously.
Headed away well by O'Neill, surviving the attention of Haitley. That's McStay. A chase here for O'Donnell with Moore. Well, they'll give the Celtic midfield that extra dimension by running from midfield beyond the forward. The deflection here came off Bolton. That could have troubled Maxwell. Well, you get the impression of Celtic are suddenly looking for more.
Yes, Phil O'Donnell coming into the box behind his right foot. Just see against what by Willie Faulkner himself. Whether that was going to go into the back of the net, I'm not too sure. But in the end, I think Willie Faulkner was offside. But Celtic now running rampant.
So bedlam all around us. These Celtic supporters celebrating. Maxwell had the clearance there, but here's a chance on for McLaughlin. Towards Faulkner it goes. McLaren's in the way. This is Trevor Stevens. Here's McKinley. Barker breaking on the right. Celtic using an extra man advantage here. Foley in the way. Good header away. This is Alex Clemmons. Straight up the line there, left by Boyd. The throw was taken here by Vata. Tackle came from McLaren. Very important now, I think, Terry, for Rangers to retain their discipline in these closing moments.
Well, the difficult with about only a few minutes left, and it's very hard when you're 3-0 down at 10 men and everything else. You just try and salvage anything that you can do, but Celtic absolutely running riot at the moment.
Chance on for all as but Watley shoots, and Maxwell makes the save. Well, Brian McLaughlin still looking for his first goal for Celtic. I've got to feel sorry for Brian McLaughlin here because in the day he gets in a lucky ricochet, the ball ricochets off Basil Bowley, comes in his left-hand side. He had two great opportunities to score a goal, and unfortunately hasn't done that. There's Mikhailichenko. Stopped by Boyd again, who's been immense at the back for Celtic, the Scotland international. Moore to Stephen. Tom Boyd clearance straight to Grant. Space now for Collins to exploit on the left. Change of pace, brings him inside Murray. Good running by Collins. O'Donnell waiting as Moore intercepts. Well, an eager silhouette Celtic is missing for the Rangers ranks at the moment. McKinley back here to O'Neill. This is Tosh McKinley. So back it goes for the throw to Celtic, but referee Mottram brings the match to an end. Celtic are the winners by 3-0. It's an afternoon of misery for the champions, but for these Celtic supporters, a day to remember towards the end of the season with the cup final just 3 weeks away. Rudy Barker, a hero for Celtic, scoring his first goal with an excellent free kick late in the match. But it was Celtic who carried the match to Rangers, especially in the second half. The first half, distinctly forgettable, but from the moment when Celtic took the lead, the game is transformed. The first goal came as a result of brilliant play from Brian McLaughlin, linking there with Donnelly, sprinting forward, playing the ball wide to Van Hooijdonk, and then he produced this magnificent finish to change the whole complexion of the match. The second goal then, brilliantly set up also by Paul McStay's pass to the right. Simon Donnelly outpacing Alan McLaren, looking for support inside. Van Hooijdonk was there, but it was Craig Moore who turned the ball into the empty net. There was then no way back for Rangers, and then the third came from Rudy Barker's long-range free kick, which beat Billy Thompson at the post, and that brought to an end the game for Rangers. Billy Thompson ordered off before the end. Celtic the winners comfortably. It's a win by 3-0. Back to Richard Keys at Old Trafford.